Good evening. I am Sheikh Shaniul Islam, a double MA in English, PhD almost completed, and I have also completed my B.Ed. I have a teaching experience of 4.5 years. Today I am going to present you all a poetry topic of CBSE English 12th class. Friends, please go through the book Flamingo and turn over the first chapter of the poetry. Look to the matter, look to the topic. What is it? You see, the poetry which is just in front of you is My Mother at 66, written by Kamala Das. Now, before starting a poetry or a prose or an essay, it is mandatory to know about the author or the poetess or the poet or the essayist. Pardon? I mean to say, if we will discuss about the poet's writing technique and what are the subjects she writes about, we will be able to know and learn that what type of thing she is going to write. A conception of his or her writing we will simply conceptualize before studying the poetry or the prose. Now, who is Kamala Das? A Malayali writer, poetess. Her real name is Madhavi Kutty. Born in 1934, and unfortunately she died nearly about 2009 April. During her vast literary arena, she wrote about love, women's right, and human relationship. As you can see, human relationships are very vividly and minutely being explained in Madhavi Kutty's writing. Now, before going to read the poetry, some of his remarkable achievements we can ascribe. That is, she won the Sahitya Akademi Award by the government of India. She also won the Sahitya Akademi Award of Kerala government, and you will be astonished to hear that she was also nominated for the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1984. And if you have time, you can go through YouTube and you will simply watch her autobiography, Amma. Most of the writings are notable works of feministic writings. But here, this poetry presented in 1999. She had written it in 1999. Her other notable works are The Novel Alphabet of Lost and Other Stories, Padmavati the Harlot, and several other poetry and prose. Now, this poetry is a fine piece of an example of an emblem of mother-daughter relationship. We already discussed that Kamala Das is an Indian writer, and being an Indian writer, she will talk about Indian culture and its subtleties, its foibles and follies, and its good things which we simply discuss in our homely atmosphere. Now, before we can start the poem, you will see the poetry is written in a particular form. The poetry started with a particular line and it ends with that particular line. There is no other lines. There is no other lines in that poetry. It started with a particular line and it ends with that particular line, except some commas. So again, we can see this poetry is written without any rhyming pattern. This type of poetry we call, and rhyming poetry we call, free verse. You see, in each and every line, the ending of the line is not compared or not matched with the previous line. That is called the free verse technique of writing. And the poetry ends with 3 dots. This particular writing technique is called poetry on running lines or enjambment. You will see in the board, enjambment. I have written it, enjambment. And free verse means unrhymed scheme poetry in a particular poetry which has no hard and fast rule. So that is all about the poetry. Now I am going to the line scheme, the lines of the poetry. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Now, the poetess driving a car and her mother is just beside her. And what happens? She is going to airport, Cochin, which is now renamed as Kochi. You will see in the latter part of the poetry that they are going to the airport. And what is the day? Last Friday. What is the time? Last morning. Remember it. They are going on the Friday morning. I saw my mother beside me. My mother is just beside me. Doors. Open-mouthed. Her face ashen like that. Doze. Her mother is dozing, means she is in a very sleepy condition. Open mouth. You have already seen some people, they sleep by opening their mouth. And they simply, it happens to snoring. So it happens while their mouth keep open. Her face ashen like that. And see, her mother's face is ashen, ash-like situation. After burning a particular substitute of thing, it become ash. And how her mother's face color is? Ash color. Ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain. And what type of ash? Like a corpse, like a dead body. And you know what is the term of dead body of animals? You know? Any one of you can? It is called carcass. Write down. Human dead body is corpse, and write down carcass. Now again, that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away. The poetess realized that her mother's face is just like an ash-like situation, ash-colored, and like a corpse. So that fearful thought the poetess wanted to get rid of. She wanted to forget it. So what should we do when we try to forget anything? We simply look some other words, like here and there. While running and sitting in a car, if you will look towards outside by the window, peeping through the window sill of a car, what you will see? Put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Now, young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling, young children sprinting, looked out at young trees sprinting. Sprinting means rush hurriedly. Write down. Sprinting means rushed. Sprinting means rushed hurriedly. Running. The merry children spilling out of their homes. Spilling out. Now what is the meaning of spill? In a pot, if water is poured in full brim, and if it is overflowed, then it is called as spill. Now, children are spilling from where? From their houses. But after the airport security check, you know, there are several procedures to enter in an international airport and in a domestic airport. There are 3 or 4 layers of security check before getting the boarding pass. Now, standing a few yards away. Now, what is the meaning of yard? Yard means almost 3 feet. And though it is not the COVID situation, do gaj ki duri suraksha hamari, it is not that kind of thing. The airport security standing with poetess just 3 feet away from her mother. I looked again at her. The poetess looked again to her mother, wan and pale. Wan means colorless. Pale means whitish. Whitish, like the corpse, like the deads. You know, after being dead, a person's body become pale and wan. As a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache. As a late winter's moon. What type of wan? What type of pale? Her mother's face is like a late winter's moon, and felt that old. A moon which rises in the late winter. That old familiar ache. the old familiar ache, the old familiar ache of being separated from one's mother, one's parent. You see the children in your house, your nephew and nieces, your nephew and nieces, what they do? The small children, if you will have come closer and take them in your lap, they will simply start to cry. Why? Why they are crying? They are crying because there is a sense of fear of being losing her or his parent. So that childhood fear is being realized, is being once again remembered by the poetess while her mother is see offing her at the airport. My childhood's fear, but all I said was, though the fear engulfed me, see you soon. See you soon, Amma. I will see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. Now, come to the point. Why the poetess bid a farewell to her mother by saying, see you soon, Amma, and why she is smiling? See, the poetess wants to console her mother by saying that we will meet again in the next visit when I will come back again. That means you will be alive till I come back. And what happens? Why she is smiling? Now why she is smiling? Anybody of you can? Why she is smiling? Though she is in a very painful mood, though she is in a very what can say, in a very disheartened manner that she is going to leave her mother, but she also wanted to console her mind by the perfunctory smiling. Perfunctory means only for the courtesy. Doing anything, write down, doing anything only for courtesy. Sure? Everyone, can you, visible? Is it visible? Yeah. Write down. Yeah. Doing anything only for courtesy. Now, I think all of you have already listened to the poetry. Now I am coming to the poetical devices and the critical issues of the poetry. I am reading it again. Go through it. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me dozed, open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Now see, there is a use of O sound. Mother, dozed, open, mouthed. There is a repetition of O sound, O. So the repetition of O sound is considered to be a very good rhetorical device that is called, you see, assonance. You see, assonance. Write down A-S-O-N-A-N-C-E. Repetition of a particular vowel sound in the middle of the poetry or in a sentence. See, open mouth, her face, ashen like that of a corpse. Ashen like that of a corpse. Now again another figure of speech. Ascend like that of a corpse. Ascend like. What is the meaning of ascend like? If anything, any object is implicitly compared with another thing, it is called as simile. So her mother's face is compared with that of a corpse. It is called as simile. Write down. This figure of speech is called as simile. S-I-M-I-L-E. Everyone can. It is visible? Yeah, write down. S-I-M-I-L-E. Simile. Where you will find the word like. Realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. As old as she looked. But soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting. Can trees sprint? Human beings can sprint, animals can sprint, but can a tree sprint? Have you ever seen? It is a matter of general physics. You will ask your physics teacher, he will tell you that whenever you will go through in a straight way or a round way in a car, when you will peep through the window to the outside, the trees will simply run from the outside to the backward side. If you will go to the upward side, it will go to the backward side. Now it is a matter of general physics. Now I am coming to the literature. I am not a physics teacher. You know, I am a teacher of literature. Now I am coming to the literature part. So trees, it denotes young trees. Why not old trees? But it is, the trees are young. Why it is called as young? You see, young trees means the emblem of vitality, youthfulness, vigor. You see, after the germination of the seed, the trees simply get green. They are full of vigor. They are totally green. So, there is a use of symbol of youthfulness. The young tree symbolizes what? Youthfulness. Now again, trees cannot sprint. Human beings and animals can sprint. Now, if an inanimate object acts like an animate object, means it is considered to be a human being or an animal, it is called as personification. This rhetorical diversification. Personification. It is visible to everyone. Personification. Write down. This rhetorical devices is called as personification. Now, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Now again, merry children, water can be spilling out from a particular pot, but small children can be spill out. So if a particular object is implicitly compared with another particular object, is called as metaphor. This rhetorical devices is called as metaphor. M-E-T-A-P-H-O-R. Metaphor. Okay. Write down the rhetorical devices. And the children, they also symbolizes the youthfulness and vigor. Now coming to the next part. But after the airport security check standing a few yards, so what is how many feet in a year? Tell me someone. You tell me. In the last part, in the last page, third one, you tell me. Yeah. Get up. Stand up and answer. Yeah, 3 feet. That is 3 feet. Absolutely correct. Sit down. I'm very happy. Listen carefully. Are you enjoying? I think you people are enjoying the class. If you feel any problem, if you feel any type of obscurity while understanding any line, any particular word, please do write down it in the exercise book and ask me before I leave the class in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, now I am going to the last part. I looked again at her when pale as a late winter's moon and felt that old. Again, as a late winter's moon. Again, her mother's face is considered to be and compared to be like the late winter's moon. Now, why it is being cited the example of late winter moon? Now, you people all know that winter season is the last season of any year. So, winter season is an emblem of decadness, ending. And you see, winter season's moon is hazy due to the fog. So winter season here suggests the ending of the year. That also suggests the ending of her mother's life. So her mother's face is also hazy. Now, coming to the last part. As late winter's moon and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear, but all I said was, see you soon, Amma. See, once again, the use of S, repetition of S sound. Said, was, see. So, repetition of consonant sound in a particular line of a particular poetry is called as consonance. One is assonance, another is consonance. C-O-N, C-O-N-A-N-C. Is it visible to everyone? Write down. You, second bench, third one, tell me what is the spelling of consonants and what do you mean by consonants? Tell me. Yeah, C-O, yeah. No, not, it is not O but A. What are you doing? Please be careful while I am writing. Ask me. If you have any difficulty, please ask me. Now, coming to the last part. All I did was smile and smile and smile. What he did, smile, smile and smile. So this repetition of word smile is called as a rhetorical device called as repetition. Write down repetition. R-E-P-I-T-I-O-N. T-I-O-N. Okay? Now, I am coming to the CBSE question pattern. In 2018, this question arises. Now again, we have to write all the questions. The most suggestive one, which will be, I think, in your final exam. Why has the poet brought in the image of the merry children spilling out of their homes? What is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? Why are the young trees described as sprinting? So the most important is, why has the poet brought in the image of the merry children spilling out of their homes? Now write down. If you have any question, also write down. After writing the question, I will go to your question. I will definitely answer your question. It is my duty to fulfill all your desires. Okay? Have patience. Just careful while writing the answer. Now see, the mother came to use the consideration to be the ending of the year. Now, the trees are sprinting and they are, is it visible? Write down quickly. Time is ticking away. Trees are sprinting and they are running. running. See, as it symbolizes youthfulness and vigor. The teacher you see, time is ticking away. I think I have to conclude. Okay, we will discuss all the later questions in the later part of my class, and in the next class we will discuss about narration change from direct to indirect speech. Do prepare and come with your exercise book. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I think you have enjoyed your class, and thanks once again for your patience and listening very careful. You people can do wonder. You know? Thank you all. I think we should call it a day. It is already 30 minutes have been over, and the next teacher is arriving soon, and yeah, you are in a very hurriedness also. Okay.